We first filmed Nakamura's work in 1998. Nakamura was then attempting to build a new clinic in a mountainous region of Afghanistan.
دا چې دا یو نیم کال دا ځنډېدلی نه دی بلکې په بل یو ځای کې هغه مجبور افغانان هم زموږ ورونه دي دا چې تاسو د بشریت د خدمت په عنوان لاندې تاسو هلته مصروف یې دلته مصروف دا یو شان ته موږ ستاسو دا احسان منو
سره راځي چې زه په خپله مړ شم دا جاري ساتو مګر دا زموږ کار داسې نه ده یو ځل once we start something this would be a permanent base.
Beginning in 1991, Nakamura opened 3 clinics in this area, where he provided medical services. However, his efforts soon ran into a major barrier. In the summer of 2000, a succession of children were brought to Nakamura with serious symptoms.
چقدر وقت میشه با این طرف است؟
56 ورځې کې چې دغه شکره خوري
56 ورځ یو دم پیدا شو
شایم ده
contact dermatitis. Dermatitis. We have some. Yes. 基礎にですね、栄養状態が良くないというのがあります。それから衛生状態が良くないと。あれでも水で洗うだけでかなり良くなるんですね。しかし今それがなかなか言えない状態であるというのは水そのものが欠乏して、こういうところにも影響が出てきているということなんでしょうね。
The source of the problem was the historic drought that afflicted Afghanistan. Throughout the area, wells for drinking water had gone bone dry. People crowded around wells that still produced water, and fights ensued. In the midst of this crisis, the 9/11 terror attacks in the U.S.
Also attacks on the southern city of Kandahar, also attacks on the eastern Afghan city of Jalalabad.
Nakamura and his staff evacuated to Pakistan, where Nakamura wrote the following account of his feelings.
Freedom and democracy is now conducting a large-scale murderous war in reprisal for terrorism. In all likelihood, the sight of the mounds of corpses of innocent people will cause pain and bad dreams of regret for the revenge takers themselves. As the world's great powers coalesce around this small, dying country, I am left with a simple doubt. What are they trying to protect?
In the area near Pakistan's border, Afghan civilians who had fled the bombing flooded the refugee camps. When Nakamura returned to Afghanistan, he saw that the damage caused by the drought had grown more severe. The farmland of Nangarhar province, which had once been a fertile breadbasket, was now void of any crops. Throughout the country, some 4 million people stood on the brink of starvation.
今一番必要なのはどういうことなんですか。
やはりはっきり言って食うことですね。他のことは語弊がありますが、贅沢な部分としか私はこの状態を見れば思えないですね。
Food and water were essential to Afghanistan's recovery. Nakamura now made a firm decision to shed his doctor's coat and to start building an irrigation canal. Nakamura identified the Kunar River, one of Afghanistan's few large rivers, as the water source for his irrigation canal. With its headwaters among glaciers and 7,000-meter-high mountains, the river flows year-round, even in times of drought.
Actually, this is a wrong map. And saying that we can get the water rather this side.
If water could be drawn from the Kunar River to the parched fields, perhaps agriculture could be revived. Nakamura began to develop construction plans. However, he had absolutely no knowledge of civil engineering or irrigation.
In that speed, Dr. said that sand and mud will not go down. Yes, that is good for interval for us. Yes.
I'm a doctor, medical doctor.
Consulting Japanese documents, he drafted a plan on his own.
This is one of the difficult. Yes.
The goal for the first 2 years was to build a 12-kilometer-long canal.
I think we are making 100% the perfect ones. It will take 5, 6, 7 years, I'm sure. So the ideally speaking, the sooner the better. First, bring the water to Golden Rock.
Nakamura's vision, a project to turn the parched land green again. Drawing water from the Kunar River, the canal will traverse parched land and finally arrive at the Gambari Desert. If it is completed, it will irrigate 3,000 hectares of farmland and support the livelihood of 100,000 people. Some members of the Afghan staff raised doubts about what appeared to be a foolhardy plan, but Nakamura's commitment did not waver.
You people, every day, hundreds of children are expiring, and as well as so many people are suffering from the diseases because of the shortcoming of the waters. Just our target is the lives of the people itself. So the success of this canal project, as well as dam project over there, is the key for our future.
March 2003, the irrigation project was launched. Funding was provided by Peace Japan Medical Services, an NGO that supports Nakamura's activities. Local farmers saw a ray of hope in the prospect of reviving their fields, and they came forth to help. Day by day, the number of participating farmers grew. The word spread. People who had taken shelter in refugee camps began to travel long distances to help. The workers are paid a daily stipend worth about $2.50. For these men who are unable to farm because of the drought, this is the sole source of support for their families. Nakamura began work on construction of the intake at the mouth of the canal. The intake is where water is drawn from the river into the irrigation canal. If it is not built properly, water will not flow into the system. To draw water into a canal, it is necessary to build a structure in the river. This changes the flow of the water, making it enter the canal. This structure is called a weir. Nakamura first undertook the construction of a levee upriver from the canal intake. When the levee is built, the river will flow on the far side of the island, keeping water out of the site for the weir. This will make it easier to construct the weir. Truckloads of soil and rock are dumped into the river. 20 meters to reach the island. Then, unexpectedly, the levee could be extended no further. No matter how much soil is dumped, the current carries it away. As the gap between the levee and the island narrowed, the flow of the river increased beyond expectations. Nakamura tried another approach. Concrete frames, weighing a total of 800 kilograms. Faced with the overwhelming potency of nature, Nakamura was forced to rethink his plans. The plans called for the intake to be completed by the following spring. Just 2 months remain. When spring comes, the snowmelt from the mountains will begin to flow, increasing the strength of the current. This would result in costly delays to the construction. Meanwhile, work on reinforcing the banks of the canal continues. Nakamura employs gabions to protect the banks from the pressure of the water. This is a traditional technique that has been used in Japan for reinforcement for hundreds of years. It is a simple structure with rock lining a cage made from metal wire, but the result is as strong as